everyone. Welcome back to Ask Sloan. I'm Ben,
I'm Sloan.
and today we're going to be talking about our inner selves.
Me,
Me,
myself,
myself, and
and I.
I.
Come on.
And listen, in the last three episodes, we talked about the psychology of money. We talked about, how to get out of debt. We essentially talked about the different parts of money as it applies to you guys, the viewers at home. But now we're going to talk about one of the most important things, and that's the value of self and what's inside. So, talk to me about these pillars, Ryan. I know that you have a
Ryan.
certain way of Sloan, sorry. I know you have a certain way of thinking about, your attitudes and your beliefs. So just like walk the people through it.
So, this topic is like super dear to my heart, okay?
Yeah.
I talk about it a lot, right? It starts with here, okay? It starts with self, okay? If you're not good, nobody's gonna be good around you. And your habits are gonna be bad, and you're gonna be in a dark place. And I grew up and ended up in a very dark place, okay? And I learned this when I was young, probably like 14 years old, and I didn't get it. And
Yeah.
I wish I would have got it. I wish it would have just clicked. So what we're gonna talk about today, it's super important that you explore this topic and that you really spend a lot of time figuring out how it works for you so that you can be your best self. Okay, because whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's your life journey, whether it's spirituality, like this topic is about you being the best you can be and being able to be successful in all things in your life journey. Okay, and so the first thing is I believe that we are spiritual beings in a physical body. Okay, that we are essentially three kind of entities, okay, that make up who we are, okay? And so we have mind, body, and spirit. And we've all like kind of heard about this, thought about
Yeah.
this, mind, body, spirit. That's who we are. But there's a hierarchy to that, okay? And so the spirit is the top of the hierarchy. The brain is the next, the mind is the next in that hierarchy, and the body is the last, okay? And this is how the information travels through us. This is how things happen. I'm moving my hand right now because my spirit is telling my brain to be myself and to give gesture. The brain is telling the body to give gesture, and so I'm giving gesture. Okay, but that all starts with like the spirit. Okay, and my comfortability in being myself and giving gesture and being animated and things like that. I could just be like stale, and that would
Yeah.
be my spirit having some shyness or being afraid, or you know what I mean, having
Yeah.
some kind of situation. So that's where we start. So what is the spirit made of? Okay, like how do we define the spirit? How do we understand the characteristics of the spirit? Okay, and the way that we do that is through a foundation of beliefs. Okay, and I would implore everyone to again get your pen and pad out and kind of write this down. Okay, and I like to use like a little stare. Okay, and then I write beliefs inside that stare. Then I do another stare. Okay, and then you write the next one. So it's beliefs is your foundation, and a lot of times we establish these beliefs subconsciously, not really using our mind. Our spirit is incredibly active when we're in our formative years,
Yeah.
between 0 and 7, but we don't really know how all of these beliefs are forming. Okay, and so a lot of your beliefs you may not even know what they are. Okay, um,
You mean at a young age you may not know what they are, or
now
just now?
you might not know right now what your beliefs are, because I'm not talking about do you believe in Jesus or do you believe in God or do you believe in evolution. That's a very specific set of beliefs. Okay, those beliefs are what people would call worldview. Okay,
Yeah. I
what's
would say that those are foundational beliefs that form your other beliefs.
they're definitely related to your other beliefs. Or I would say your other beliefs are related to that. That's
Yeah.
not necessarily forming your other beliefs. Like Do you believe the earth is round or flat? Okay, that's not really relevant to your worldview necessarily. You probably believe the world is round if you went to public school, right? Okay, until you joined the conspiracy theory forum and began to believe that the world is flat. That was a belief you changed along the way. Um, the other different types of beliefs. Okay, you could believe that the government is for you. Okay, not against you. Okay, you could believe the government is against you, not for you. Okay, you could believe that your mom loves you. You could believe that your mom doesn't love you. Okay, like right, and that's not relevant to whether or not you believe in God,
Yeah.
but it may be associated with it in some kind of way, right? Um, so you have a lot of different beliefs. You might believe that genes are bad, like genes are not good, or something. I mean, I don't know. Like you have all these different kind of beliefs, and if you don't know what your beliefs are, you can explore that. You can go into here, and you've got a bunch of beliefs wrapped up in money. Okay, so like one thing you might believe is you might believe that debt is bad, that it's evil, that 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 it's going to hurt you, or that you're dumb to have it, or you could have all these negative beliefs. I've got clients that like loans are bad.
So when you talk about the beliefs in this hierarchy, what beliefs are you referring to?
All of them, all your beliefs.
Okay.
So
So if that's the case, what's next in the
the
hierarchy?
next is values. What do you value? Okay, do you value money or do you value Gucci? Do you value relationship? Do you value sex? Do you value health or do you value pleasure? Do you value work or do you value play?
And so would you say that those values are based on your beliefs and that's why the beliefs are at the first step?
Not always.
Okay.
Not always. You can believe something and you can value something that's against your beliefs.
But
Let
then
me
you
give you
would
an
be
example.
double
Let's
minded,
say
wouldn't you?
that is double-minded, and that's when you're now out of balance. And when you're out of balance, then you're making bad decisions that are causing anxiety, that's causing stress, that's causing frustration. So if you're in a state of anxiety, you're out of balance. You're acting in a way. Well, we'll get through the hierarchy, but let me give you an example just from beliefs and values. You might believe that loans are bad, but you value having real estate investments.
Mm,
You're borrowing money to buy real estate, and the borrowed money is keeping you up at night because you don't believe in having loans. So you want to get rid of that loan as fast as possible, but you do value having home ownership or investment properties.
yeah.
And so now your psychology, your spirit and your mind are working against each other. And that's when you're out of balance. So now you're not sleeping well. If you don't have a tenant in your property, like it's really causing a lot of stress. You didn't make a good decision on money. You don't have enough money to really pay for that property if there's no tenant.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then now you've got this anxiety and fear associated with it. So
Okay.
that's that. So we got beliefs, we got values. Okay, then we're gonna go to attitudes. What is your attitude? Okay, and you can have an attitude towards money. You can have an attitude towards people. You can have an attitude towards, um, 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 you know, belief systems. You know,
Is that something that's binary, your attitudes? Like, is it a glass half full, glass half empty thing?
yeah,
Or can you just have
yeah,
many different
yeah.
attitudes?
Glass half full, glass half empty is an attitude. There's a lot of different types of attitudes. And for me, attitudes are a little more difficult to understand, but let me say that an attitude of gratitude, right? Okay, an attitude of gratitude,
So, glass half full
being
mentality.
grateful, counting your blessings. That's an attitude. Like an attitude is a super feeling. Like it's not a feeling. It's bigger than a feeling. Okay, it's not related to the emotional thing of it, but it creates feelings.
I
Okay,
hear
so
you absolutely because I would imagine or what I say all the time, like at work, for example, is that your attitude is formative to like your behavior and your emotions and like how you view things. It's sort of like a funnel that everything goes through, right? So your attitude will change
Exactly.
these things.
Exactly. And so attitude can be one of the most important elements here when we're talking about being in balance and not having anxiety and having peace and happiness and joy and all those things. Attitude is very much a part of, plays a much bigger role,
A filter, if you will.
a filter of your role. And so these are your foundational things: beliefs, values, attitudes. Okay, the next are like very flippant and fluid things. Okay, thoughts, feelings, and then actions. Okay, so let me give you an example of being out of balance. Okay, I believe that cigarettes will kill you. I value health. My attitude is I don't care. My thought is I'm stressed. My feeling is I want to smoke a cigarette. My action is smoking a cigarette. Am I in or out of balance, Ben?
Definitely out of
I'm
balance.
out of balance. So, did the cigarette help my stress?
No.
No, it caused it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It caused it. So, a lot of people will smoke a cigarette to reduce stress, but it's actually causing stress because they don't believe in it. They know it's bad for them. They know it's going to kill them. But the attitude is, I don't care. But you do care. Your spirit wants to live, even if your mind is done. So that's a very simple example of being out of balance and not having peace, not having joy, not having gratitude, not living your best self, making decisions out of emotion, not making decisions out of wisdom.
So, do you believe that changing, since beliefs are at the bottom, they sound like they're foundational?
Foundational.
So, do you believe that changing your beliefs will innately change everything else that you named? Right? It has a correlation where you change your beliefs, that might change your values, that might change your attitudes, that might change your thoughts, right? That might change your feelings, emotions, your actions.
What I'm going to say is that changing your beliefs will innately change the hierarchy, but it won't necessarily fix everything.
Okay.
You literally have to fix your beliefs, your values, and your attitudes. And you have to take control of your thoughts and your feelings
I see.
in order for your actions to be representative of a full balance.
So in that instance, it's sort of like a pyramid in that case, right?
I mean, it is, but like I said, like you can believe that cigarettes are going to kill you. You're not going to change that belief because you know it's true.
Yeah.
So if you smoke, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So you've now got to fix whatever's unbalanced that's causing you to make that decision against yourself.
Yeah. I guess. Um.
Addiction is this way.
Yeah. I guess
Addiction
another way to
is
look at it would be
completely
like
being
this.
out of balance.
Yeah. You essentially look through this entire hierarchy to see where you are out of balance and where you need to correct.
Absolutely. And it takes time. Like I had to journal. Okay. There was a young man and I had introduced him to Jesus.
Yeah.
And he was super excited about that. But he noticed that I was at unrest, that I was out of balance, that I was stressed, that I was not good at being alone, and I didn't, I was messed up. I was an addict. I was all those things. And he could see that.
Yeah.
He was like, "Look, bro, you've helped me out a lot, and I wanna return the favor." This was I learned this thing I just spoke on when I was 14. This is fast forward. I'm like 20, 21.
Well.
Okay, and so like I had not figured out how to fix it. Okay, and he's like, "I want you." Like the thing is that like you don't love yourself, bro.
Wow.
Like I can tell that you don't really love yourself. I don't even know if you like yourself. Okay, but I like you. I think you're cool, bro.
Wow.
Right? And he's like, if you notice, I'm perfectly fine just being all by myself. I'm satisfied. I'm happy. I'm at peace. I've got no issues with it. I like me. And I can hang out with me. That's what you need to get to, bro. You need to start liking yourself. You need to start loving yourself. You need to hang out with yourself, get to know yourself. Like you need to like build a relationship with yourself. And I immediately applied that to the scripture, love your neighbor
As you love yourself.
as you love yourself. I think the second part of that is like not really paid a whole lot of attention to. Everybody really focuses on the love your neighbor thing. But if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love your neighbor?
Yeah.
You can't. So then how do you love yourself? I mean, it's a fine line. It's different than having pride. It's different than being arrogant. It's different than being, oh, I'm important and special. Loving yourself is really getting to know who you are and what your purpose is,
Yeah.
right?
It honestly reminds me of like what Paul says, right? He says, "Don't you know that your body is the temple of God?" Right? Where it's like you wouldn't necessarily go into the temple of God and throw trash around, right? And leave it all dirty and messy. You would make sure that it's clean. You know, you would treat it with respect. You would treat yourself with respect.
One
Right?
would
You
hope
make
so.
sure that you're clean, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that people don't necessarily, like you said, apply that.
Well, we're not taught this.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something very special that I was taught this at 14. Like it was a very unique circumstance, and I consider it a blessing. But even though I was taught it, I didn't know how to apply it. Like we're not taught about money habits. We're not taught about this makeup of who we are and how to like make that work for us. Like we're not taught any of these things. We're taught 2 + 2 = 4, and Shakespeare. I mean, didn't they kill themselves? It was dumb,
Romeo and Juliet.
you know. Yeah, that was Romeo. That's what, like, yeah. I said Shakespeare. I mean, you're right. Thank you, Ben.
I mean, no,
Um,
Shakespeare did
but
write
it's
it.
true. But Shakespeare wrote it, but it was Romeo and Juliet. But they did. So my point is, though, is there's a lot of things that we're not taught, and it's not our parents' fault. It's not the teacher's fault. It's like nobody's fault. Like, like I tell people all the time, like, all of us are born knowing nothing. Okay.
Mm,
Everything that I'm going to share on this podcast, I learned,
yeah.
right? I had to learn it. And everything that Elon Musk shares, he learned. None of us were born. Jeff Bezos wasn't born knowing Amazon.
You
Okay?
know, it's interesting you say that. I've always thought that people are born with conviction. People are born with an innate conviction within themselves to know the difference between good and evil.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
You're saying, and this is there's two worldviews. The first
Yeah.
worldview is that everyone is good and they learn to be bad.
Hmm.
The second worldview is everyone's bad and they learn to be good. Okay.
Interesting.
But scripture says that we're born with the sin nature.
Yes.
Okay. But that doesn't make us inherently bad. I don't think that we, my belief is not that we're bad and learn to be good. It's that we're kind of neither.
Yeah.
Okay. And we don't really, because the issue is during the period of innocence, you don't know the difference between good and evil. It's the coming of age in which you realize the difference between good and evil, and then that's when you have a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, but kids are, I don't know if you know this, but kids are terrible to each other. Like they're
They really
they're
are.
hardcore bad. Okay. But as soon as they learn what bad feels like, if there's no outside trauma,
Yeah.
generally speaking, they won't carry that. Okay.
Yeah.
But if there's outside trauma and it's not processed, then that's when you learn bad behavior. I mean, I've known people that have done terrible things, and you can separate a person from the terrible things that they do. And they don't always stay there. There's a difference between a psychotic individual,
Yeah.
okay, and someone that has just made mistakes, and wants
Yeah.
to learn from those mistakes and wants to be better. But like addiction as an example, like if you dive down into the depths of addiction, like getting out of that place is really hard. So back to my thing, like learning how to love myself. I started a journal.
Okay.
Okay. And so that journal was that introspection. And in that journal, I began to write what my thoughts were,
Okay.
what my feelings were, what my attitudes were, what my values were. I began to write what my beliefs were. I began
Wow.
to write who I wanted to be. I began to identify what the behaviors I was doing that I didn't believe were me. Like I like that's not me. Why am I doing that? And then really kind of drilling down into, okay, where does this come from? Okay,
Writing is powerful.
and like, oh, this is associated with
Wow.
that. Okay, oh, this is associated with that. And I spent a couple of years journaling, okay, to get to that place where then I knew who I was. I knew what my beliefs were. I knew what my values were. I knew what my attitudes were and what I wanted them to be.
Mm.
Um, have you ever heard this before? Attitude is everything.
Yes.
And so if you take the right attitude into everything that you do, you will achieve success.
That's in the Bible. Do everything as if you were to do it like for God,
According to
According to God.
for the Lord.
for the Lord, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
an
the attitude, right?
Yeah.
And he's even telling the slaves to do that.
Yeah.
Okay? Even as a slave, do it like you're working for Jesus.
Yep.
Okay? Like let it go. Let the fact go that you're a slave. Make that an irrelevant part of your life. Okay?
Which is insanely tough to do.
Well, I mean, slavery is terrible, man.
Yeah.
You know, like all bad.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not a believer, but our world was full of slavery for
I mean,
millennia.
the slavery back then, like in the biblical times, is a bit different.
Well, oh yeah,
Well, not a bit. It's completely
well,
different.
kind of completely different, but not. It depends. There were different types of slavery.
It depends on the
when
slave
when
owner.
the
right?
Egyptians took over the Hebrews, okay, that
Yeah.
was the same as
That was the
the
same
most
type of-
recent slavery. But there's indentured servitude,
Yeah.
okay, which is like kind of different. Like I want to serve you because you can provide me with room, board, and food, and like I need a job anyways. It was a way. It's like it's what
way
a
to live.
job was back then,
Yeah.
kind of. But I mean, that's all I'm talking. But the point is like in any circumstance, you can have an attitude that this is terrible and nothing's okay and everything's not okay, or you can have an attitude that even though this is terrible and everything's not okay, I'm gonna work today to make tomorrow better, and I'm gonna have the attitude that I need to have to make it happen. I mean,
Yeah.
and you know, there are a lot of different types of slavery, right? Addiction is a slavery, you know, being you know, having to have money to survive is a type of slavery. You know what I mean?
I mean, with those things, I would say that that's kind of like, I view that as idolatry. You know, like a lot of people, when they imagine like idolatry, they imagine somebody like literally worshiping a god on their knees. But I honestly think that idolatry is anything that you put above God. Anything that you're willing to serve above God is essentially your idol.
So, and I would agree with you in regards to like the law of worship. Okay, like I believe that we are created as beings that need to and must worship, and that we're gonna worship something. So I would 100% agree with that. But being a slave to money, I think, is different than it being an idol, because if we don't make an effort to earn, then we can't live. In the society that we have, like you have to have money
That's fair.
to have a home. You have to have money to feed your kids. You have
Yeah.
to have money to go to school.
I agree.
You have to have it.
Yeah, and God doesn't go against money
And that's
at
not
all.
your fault. Money, it's money isn't the root of all evil. It's the worship of money
Yes.
that is the root of all evil. Greed, okay, right? But we're all hyper focused on needing more money to have the things that we need and the things that we want,
Yeah.
right? And so we can have an attitude about money that's all bad, or we can have an attitude about money that's good. And that's separate from the idolization or worship of money, which will turn into greed and all the things that are bad about it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And money has been different things over the millennia, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's taken on different forms, but wealth has always been there. It's always been a thing, right? Like, I mean, we look at Solomon, he's still the wealthiest man to have ever lived, right? So,
I don't know. He was definitely the wisest. He may or may not have been the wealthiest. He was definitely the wealthiest back then.
Yeah, I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure like that was one of God's promises. Like he'd be the wealthiest man to ever live.
We'll look
What?
that up. We'll have
Yeah,
to
we'll have
tell
to
the
look that
people
up.
about
Maybe
it.
I'm wrong. I know for a fact he was the wisest, but that even that is kind of like, I guess it still works, right? Because then Jesus wasn't necessarily a man.
Nah, he
Uh,
got that God thing going for him.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly,
Like
right. So technically,
that's pretty special. Yeah,
he had an outbeat for the wisdom.
I'm pretty sure he's the creator of wisdom. So
Exactly.
I feel that. So back to this hierarchy. If you're out of balance, start to journal.
Yeah,
Start to really understand who you are, what makes up who you are, what your value is, what your psychology is with money, what your psychology with relationships. If things aren't working for you, the Michael Jackson said it best, man in the mirror, okay?
yeah,
Right? Like you really got to if you want your environment to change, if you want how people interact with you to change,
yeah,
if you want your outcomes to change,
yeah,
you only have control of those things: beliefs, your attitude, your values, your thoughts, your feelings,
yeah.
your actions. It's six things. Those are the only six things that you can control.
Yeah, and honestly, I would say that once you change inside, your environment begins to change around you,
No, it
right?
does.
Because like
A
the
hundred
people
percent.
around you that could be around you before, they tend not to really want to be around you anymore when you are different on the inside, right? And then
If it's a negative thing.
right? And then on top of that, I mean, honestly, also when it's a positive thing. Because sometimes you could be, for example, when you become a follower of Jesus Christ, like a lot of the times you don't do what you used to do. And sometimes the people around you that wanted to do those things that you used to do, that you don't want to do anymore, like they don't want to be around you anymore now. Right? And that's not all of the time. It's some of the time. But overall, my point is like once you change on the inside, your environment becomes a reflection of your worldview and how you feel and how you just behave.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think some of the separation when you begin to change behavior is just we hang out with those who do what we do,
Yeah,
and it's not necessarily that we don't want to be or this, like, you know what I mean, but
yeah,
it's like I don't go to the same places and hang out with the same people that are doing the same things
absolutely.
that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
And that's not because I don't like them anymore or
Oh
anything
no,
like
not
that.
at
Like
all, not at
it's
all.
not relevant to that. It's just like I'm spending time with my wife. I'm spending time with my kids. I'm working on my next project. Like I'm focused on
On
my
something
goals.
different. Yep.
I'm focused on solving problems. Like I'm focused on something different. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like be
Yeah.
your best self.
I think
And
another
the
thing.
haters are gonna come and the fakers are gonna fall away, and like your life should not be based on um, you know your relationships.
Yeah.
Your life should be I mean outside of like your marriage, like your committed relationships or
Yeah.
your business partners and things like that. But your life should really be based on what your purpose and your focus is.
Yeah. I think another thing that you touched on that's super important is ask yourself the right questions. You want to ask yourself the right questions because the questions that you ask yourself are going to bring the truth to the light. They're going to shed light on the darkness, the dark parts of yourself that you may not want to see. And once you are going through that, method of journaling, and you do see those things, like don't shy away from them, because like you always say, like the future is really in your control.
100%, 100%. So the big tip or the wisdom of this episode is to really focus on becoming who you want to be by adapting your beliefs, your values, your attitudes so that your thoughts, feelings and actions can represent your best self.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much, and tune in next time. Make sure that you like and subscribe, share, and hit that notification button so you know when our next episode is. We drop every Tuesday. Thank you guys so much.